In this lesson, we'll take a look at creating a new Maya project, which will allow us to keep all of our scenes and all of our assets in one place. So when we're saving out our Maya scenes, we'll probably also have things like textures that we're drawing in from somewhere on our local drives, or if we're on a network drive, somewhere on our network drive. We'll be creating renders. We'll have a lot of kind of secondary assets that we're pulling in and drawing from to create our final project. We want to try to keep those in one place, and this is where Maya projects come in. And you can think of projects really as just a folder with a bunch of subfolders inside, where specific things that we're going to be working with are going to automatically be saved. So when we're starting a new project here, or a new scene, we want to create a project. So we'll go to File, down to Project, and let's go into the project window. Up at the top, you'll see our current project. Right now it's set to default. Here is the actual location on our drive, and then you'll see a number of, these are basically folders coming down right below here, primary project locations. So there's a scenes folder. This is where we're going to be saving our actual Maya scenes in either Maya ASCII or Maya binary formats. Then we have, images, which we can render images to, source images folder, where we can keep textures and things like that. Sound folder, if we have any scripts that we want to have, movies. So lots of different folders here. There's also a folder for autosave. So if you have autosave turned on, which will automatically save out files, that's where you can find those. And all these are going to be found within this folder within My Projects. So what we want to do is create our own project. So assuming we're working on a new thing, we want to create a project for that thing so we can kind of keep it separated. So let's go into New. And then we can choose where we want this project to be located. So to do that, we'll click on this little folder next to the location. And then you'll navigate to your drive where you want your project to be located. I'm just going to put mine on the root of the C drive. It sometimes makes it a little bit easier when, for instance, if you're opening project files on your machine, if it's set to the C drive, because you want to make sure that those things are linked appropriately. So that's why I'm putting it on the root of mine, but you can put it wherever you want. Just navigate to that particular folder and go ahead and select it. So you can see I'm just at the root of the C. And now I want to name it. And so I can just call this something like Maya Intro 2017. So there's the name of our project, there's the location of our project, and then here are all the sub folders that we're going to include. We'll just include the defaults that it has there. So we're going to go ahead and say accept. So now when we go in and if we create something here, let's bring in just a cube, and let's say I want to save this now. Go to File, and if we go into Save, we'll be able to pick our project from over here. So here's our current project, and we want to just choose the scenes folder to drop this into. And so you can choose what file type that you want to use. There's a Maya binary and Maya ASCII, and we'll just call this cube tests. You choose any of the options that you want, and you can just say save as. So then, when you go ahead and change things up, you can either just hit save, or if you want to save a new version of it, you can go to save as, and it comes back into our scenes folder. You can confirm that there. If you have other projects that you want to jump into, you can do that from the little drop down, and then we can change the name and save that. Okay, so that is how we can set up a project. Let's go ahead in the next lesson and get into saving a little bit more. So we looked at we could save out a Maya ASCII or Maya binary. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and also saving out different file types. So an OBJ would just get kind of your geometry out, or an FBX, and then also using autosave. As I mentioned earlier, there's a way you can set this up so that you can kind of minimize the loss of data that you might get from something happening, computer crashing, things like that. If you turn on autosave, you can kind of help yourself kind of lose as little work as possible when something like that inevitably happens. So let's go ahead in the next lesson and take a look a little bit more into saving different kinds of files.